Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News, and we have a Bachelorette recap for you. Week 4 of Charity's season of The Bachelorette. I take notes, read them back to you, and she sends a favorite home. Can you believe this? We get her down to 6 men. There are only 6 men left. I can't believe it. Where did the season go? All right, so I take notes, read them back. No edits, no jump cuts, just me and you guys here. All right, Charity's off to Washington State, Columbia River Gorge. More Bigfoot sightings than anywhere in the country. It's probably easier to have a Bigfoot sighting than to sight an actual happy, successful couple from The Bachelor. There just aren't that many of them, folks. Charity shows up to the lodge to pick up Dotun. All right, he's got the first one-on-one. Jesse Palmer, notable Bigfoot enthusiast, loves a good scarf, so he lets the guys know what's the deal for the week. And oh boy, Dotun's really in for it. What did you sign up for? Braden, back at the house, says he has the strongest connection with her, and he knows her favorite color is blue. Hey, I mean, he knows her favorite color, all right? Everyone else go home. Pack your bags and go home. So Dotun and Charity are about to do a bungee jump. Like, he's so tall. Can't he just walk off the bridge? Can't he just step down from the bridge? He's terrified, and he should be. Bungee jumping is wildly dangerous. I wouldn't do it. You know, you don't need to bounce back up. You're going to hit the bridge rafters. Have you not seen enough bungee jump fail videos? But there they are. They do survive. Let's hope the guy who ran the bungee jump isn't the guy who helped Rachel Kirkconnell land from her skydiving incident. I think she still has a concussion. All right. Dotun is rewarded with s'mores. Not a bad reward. I would probably jump off a bridge for s'mores, even though they are overrated, as Reality Steve says. I agree. They are. You know why they're overrated? Because the graham cracker is not an appropriate casing for the chocolate and the s'more. You know what I mean? It's just, you can never eat it without getting gooey and everything. I always say, just get an apple pie, put it on a skillet, and eat it like a man. All right, so anyway, what other open fire desserts are there? Maybe get one of those rolls of, cookies and just cook that over the fire with a skillet. I don't know. Okay, I'm starving. All right, Dotun tells about his past. He came to the U.S. when he was 4 due to a visa lottery, and Charity says this date is good, not forced. He's clearly building momentum. Charity says she has confirmations that he could be the person. He gets the rose, and then they do the mobile jacuzzi. They looked ripped and steamy. Who knows what's going on underneath that water? And then meanwhile, back at the lodge, we'll go back to the lodge here. Folks call Braden a loose cannon and want Braden gone. To be honest, shouldn't they be mad at Aaron for bringing it all up to Charity? Like, the only reason Braden's an issue is because he's had to defend himself left and right. Just let him burn off in the corner. You know what I mean? Just don't give him any energy. He's like a wildfire. Let him burn off in the corner, and it'll be fine. That's my thought. But of course, they've been coming for him since he was the first impression winner. All right, meet me in the woods from Charity, the next group date. That's what we've got here. Xavier not on the list, so he'll get the next one-on-one. Braden is underdressed in the forest. And he's inside. He wears a scarf. Outside, he doesn't. He zigs when you zag. That's what Braden does. Charity introduces her group date guest host, Survivalist, a couple Girl Scouts of sorts. Whoever impresses the kids the most get a one-on-one with Charity in the kissing tree. These 3 young ladies are sassy as hell, and we love it. They really stole the show here. They really took that French beret and told those guys who's boss. So then the boys have 5 minutes to go scavenge in the woods for food, and kissing tree is one of their favorite. So then they have the kissing tree that I guess they get to hang out by a kissing tree. That doesn't sound like fun. You're going to get poison ivy and a chapped lips. Sean calls the girls demons, and one of them agrees. She goes, I am a demon, and it's like, okay, that one's going to be fun. Keep an eye on her. Therapy is not a bad thing. The boys were quizzed who they would eat to survive, and they all said Braden. They all said they would eat Braden to survive. And by the way, I don't know. Caleb might be good. I don't know. Caleb. But Braden does. He is a thicker man. So maybe just on the caloric intake, Braden would be fine. Braden says he likes Charity. Says she's an amazing woman. She just might not be an amazing woman for him. And I get it. Rejection. That's not fun. Braden says the other guys are naive with their perspective. Someone said this process works. But look, statistically, you got to disagree. I mean, you hate a realist because you got to be optimistic. Like, the realist in me would say, why would I ever get into YouTube? I'm not going to be successful. Most YouTube channels aren't. Well, you fight past that and you try to be optimistic and do, you can't get anywhere with realism. But at the same time, it's also not wrong to be like, all right, I don't know if this process works. You know what I mean? Braden says it could be hard to propose after only dating through this process. And that seems fair. It's a fair thought. But why did you sign up for it? Well, because people sign up for these shows. That's how it works. Braden says he isn't wasting anyone's time. Charity arrives looking annoyed. The guys all stop talking. So there's Charity. She comes in. The producers have already kind of informed her. What's going on? I love these outfits. We have a sports jacket with a bra. We're just going for it. That's not bad. Not bad in my book. That's the evening wear in Washington State. So then Charity arrives annoyed. The guys stop talking. They tell Charity that Braden has packed his bags twice. He says, that's not anything I haven't told you. Charity asks him to talk. Charity and Braden have the same chat they had last week, and Charity says she is so frustrated. Braden tells Charity he likes her, but doesn't want to be there right now and doesn't feel like he can get there in this environment, which honestly is a very interesting way to put it. He says, I don't feel like I can get there in this environment. Charity says she deserves someone who can put their heart into this. She is more frustrated than sad, and she thought she could have seen a forever future with him. Basically, he was a victim of his own questioning of it all, whether it's his ruminating over the process or, everyone's got a different type of brain. And Braden's brain is probably overly analytical early on in the show. You kind of have to go through it like blind, and you have to go, okay, you know what? Let's just see what happens. Let's keep pursuing it. But the thing that surrounds his metaphorical heart here is saying, caution, 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 this isn't going to work. And you got to listen to that. Maybe it's because the circumstances weren't right, or maybe he just wasn't that into Charity, as I think he just wasn't that into Charity. And then as it was going on, he goes, oh my gosh, I'm a leading contender here. I'm the one. I'm not really that into her. Or maybe he was jealous of the other guys. So many different things could have happened. I'm not going to pretend to know from watching the show. But we can speculate, folks. All right, one-on-one date with Xavier, old Z-Dog. So Joey gets the group date rose. Good for him. One-on-one date. They go to a fruit festival. Charity and Xavier stomp pears barefoot. Nobody wants that from me. It's not happening. No one's going to be eating their pear jam and wonder if there's a toenail involved. Not going to happen on my book. I'm never eating pear jam if I ever see it in the store. If I ever go to some artisanal shop in the Pacific Northwest, pear jam, nope, I don't need to know if this was vintage Charity pear jam. Xavier has a boring date, but that's good. Boring is good as far as Xavier's concerned. They go on a nice train ride, and all the guys back home say they feel relaxed knowing Braden is gone. And of course, I don't even blame the guys here. We know this is 100% a producer thing. I've said this before. We've got several different types of villains. Early season villain. This is early season villain 101. Oh, now that Braden's gone, now that Yosef's gone, now that Chad Johnson's gone, now that Victoria Larson's gone, now that it's just always that early disruptor. Now that they're gone, we can find out who the next villain is going to be, because that's what the show runs on. The show runs on villain. So then anyway, my question was like, was Braden that big of a threat to these guys? Was he that annoying, or is he just like the giddy friend? I don't buy it, folks. I just don't buy it. This whole episode, I've like side-eyed it. Braden then shows up. Braden is back, baby. So there's Xavier. He gets the rose, nice sweater. Braden comes back. He's steamed his scarf and he's ready to go. Braden shows up, walks in, doesn't address the group of men. Sean calls it disrespectful. So ego 101, these guys are all disrespected that Braden came back. And it's like, look, even though he left, he has every right to be on the show as everyone else. We all know if the producers didn't want him back, he wouldn't have come back, right? We all know this. And a guy says, I've never been this upset in my life. Honestly? Really? You've never been? This is the most upset you've ever been? Like, I'd love to know what's happened in your life. Sean complains about Braden's scarf. But then the producers call out Sean and saying, aren't you also wearing a scarf? And Sean goes, it's cashmere. This is cashmere, baby. Sean is giving me rich, mean kid with the daddy who gets him out of trouble vibes. That's what I'm getting from Sean. Charity wipes off the kiss smudges. So Charity's been smooching. She's like, oh, sorry. And then Braden shows up, and Braden comes back to apologize. Says he's sorry for how it went down. Charity says she respects that this is all a lot for him. He says it's like, that's too much. I can't do it, And then Braden tells Charity there, and by the way, which just goes to show, because Sean's a veteran, right? I think he was in the the reserves. I'm not really sure exactly how he served, but the fact that he was in the military, and then he goes, you know what, the Bachelorette, too much. This is too much. I could fight in a war, but I cannot do this. This is that warfare in the brain we don't need. He says he was getting in over his head and wishes her the best in this process. Aaron tries to cut Braden off. So Braden's walking out of there. He's done. He's going home. Aaron tries to cut him off, which, I'm not saying that's, put it this way. It's not aggressive in the sense that he doesn't have his fists up ready to fight, but by walking into his way and trying to get him to stop and confront him right then and there, which again could also be producer driven, that is escalating nature. That's like when you see that in the bar, if you're the bouncer, there's a fight about to break out. You just know but of course not on the show. They're not allowed to fight. They get kicked off and all that, but they come very close to it. So Aaron questions his manhood. He goes right for the castration. He goes right for the ego. You're not a man. You're this. You're weak. You're in all these different things. Meanwhile, to me, in that situation, the best thing you can do is de-escalate and leave. And Braden tries to keep his calm. That's where I stand on it. Now you might say, well, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Well, but let's also remember, this is how the show works. This happens every year. Okay, someone is the pawn every year, and maybe Braden. Again, I'm not here to be apologetic for him, but maybe Braden didn't realize, having never watched the show before, that the producers goat him and do this every season to get someone to come back. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think. The guys follow Braden outside to confront him as he walks away. Aaron yells to the driver, "Punch the gas, man." And then, of course, he finally leaves. But clearly, Braden was okay having a conversation with John, I believe. They were level-headed. But this issue with Aaron, it's the same thing with the issue with the other Aaron, Clancy, when he was union leader on his season. Of course, these Aarons are actually friends. So it could be that this is just a gameplay move that they do, which we'll see in the future whether or not Aaron owns up to his words and is there for Charity when she has her time of need. So Jesse arrives to say the cocktail party is over, and then we finally find out that here we have Michael, Caleb, and John go home. And then we are down to our final 6. All right, folks, let me know what you guys think about all of that. Oh my gosh, I've got so much content in the books for you guys on the Dave Neal Show. All of my interviews are up. If you haven't checked those out, Dave Neal Show, link in the comment section below to watch that. Also, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast every afternoon. The podcast has been doing so well. So I take all of the news, I kind of try to truncate it and make it more digestible to you. I bring in all the other news that's going on with Us Weekly and TMZ, and I give you your afternoon dose of pop culture. So if you want to stay in the know, I got you covered over there at Bachelor Rush Hour. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of the private membership community, patreon.com/Dave Neal is where you can go to do that. And stand-up tickets for my show in Seattle, speaking of the Pacific Northwest, August 24th, are on sale right now. Link in the comment section. I'll also have a show in Huntington Beach, August 17th, and other shows coming up. So stay tuned for that. All right, folks, we'll see you in a little bit.